This is the Creative For You podcast. This is Cassandra Lauren Gordon, your host. And today we are here with
Yana. I'm Yana.com.
Great, Yana. That's great. Just for our listeners and for our viewers, if we can just turn up the mic just a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time for the people in the back. This is Cassandra Lauren Gordon, your host for the Creative For You podcast, and I'm here with
Yana.
Great. So we can hear you now. So if you can just speak a bit loudly so everyone can hear, that'd be amazing. Okay, great. Okay, so Yana, so tell us about yourself.
My name is Yana. I'm an American. I'm from America. Obviously, you can tell from my accent. I am an R&B singer and producer and composer, and all around creative. Yeah.
Okay, because it's interesting about all around creative, because I saw do some research about yourself. I heard cosplayer, creative director, healing, jewellery.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Do you want to tap into that before we get into the singing?
Yeah, actually, the jewelry and healing and cosplay and all that, that's stuff that I've always loved to do, but I never really had time. But actually, the question you asked me about COVID actually really like helped bring out a lot more of my creative side and do other things that I wanted to do. I'm also into film. I went to school for film and performance arts. So like anything pretty much artistically inclined, like that's me. Oops.
Okay, cool. No worries. This is COVID life. I've had lots of things happen to me, so don't worry. We just keep on going and bringing that resilience in. Okay, so that is really good to hear. So I'm going to read a little bit about your bio, and then we get into your artistry.
Okay.
So let me just bring this up. So Yana has said that she draws inspiration from the 90s souls icons such as Aaliyah, Brandy, Toni Braxton, and outspoken 2000s pop artists like Gwen Stefani and Natalia Kills. Her sultry and entrancing sound has been described as bedroom and alternative R&B. Okay, so I think I said before recording this podcast that I've kind of fell out of love with R&B because I was like a 90s R&B head, and like, but through quarantine and through life, there's only so much 90s R&B I can listen to without getting a bit repetitive. So I really made a search of like looking for new artists who are just creative and just different and very inspiring. And that's how I came across you on the internet. This is the best thing about, I'm in London. You're is it in Maryland right now?
Maryland, yeah.
Maryland right now. Wasn't the great Toni Braxton? Is she from Maryland a little bit?
Yeah.
And Toni Braxton. Yeah, I used to watch Braxton Family Values. So I'm just like, Maryland's on the map.
They're hilarious, aren't they? They're so much fun.
And just double checking with Maryland and maybe get the geography. Is it near Baltimore, or Baltimore is in Maryland?
Baltimore is in Maryland, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But if you ask anybody from Baltimore, they're completely separated from us. They don't even count. They think they don't count. No,
okay,
but I love
okay, cool. All right. Now I'm understanding the geography and emotional geography of Maryland and the US. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's how I found you. And if I'm being honest, I get a bit lost about the definition about what's R&B, because when I'm in the 90s, I can 2000s, I'm like, that's an R&B sound.
Right.
How would you define R&B today?
I think that R&B is also it's just really evolving, honestly. I can't really. Can I come back to that question? Because
yeah, okay then. No, absolutely. Okay, so how do you? No, that's fine, because I put you on the spot. But you describe it as bedroom and atmospheric R&B. Could you describe that then?
I feel like my sound is very cinematic. I'm very dramatic. I love a big theater cinema sound, like things that'll sound like it's from a movie, like a movie soundtrack. I'm very moody, kind of feels artist. I guess that's what describes R&B is moody, but like now R&B is like more pop. It seems like it's got a little pop feel to it. I still like to keep the soul of it because I'm a very I would call myself like a mezzo soprano or alto as a soprano. Yeah. Well, I'm not like a bubblegum pop singer. Yeah. I'm moody. I'll just say that. I'm very
Okay.
moody.
Okay, that's very understandable. Yeah, because even though I asked you those very standard questions, it's I, as an artist myself, I'm not a recording artist, but as a jeweler, it's hard. I don't like putting people in boxes, but just to set the scene so people could understand like your artistry and things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I did talk about some of your influences in your bio when I've read out. Is there anyone who influenced you now in is it 2020s? I don't know how you describe this decade.
Not in the industry, no. I guess what motivates me most now is kind of like the people that make me want to write the music. Because I actually really used to like Amy Winehouse, like a lot. And she inspired me. And she said something in one of her interviews one day about how she started making a lot of music because she didn't hear things that sounded like her on the radio. So I really related and resonated with that. So I started making or writing poetry and things that like I felt, that I could relate to, and in my own words. Because I feel like a lot of R&B, like you said, is repetitive. How do you say what's been said a million times in your own words? So the people that inspire me are definitely the the issues that I have in my life that I write about.
Yeah, so is it like the soundtrack of your life, very autobiographical right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
yeah.
understood.
Thankfully, I'm in a better place in music, so I'm not as like dark, but yeah.
Definitely understood. Okay, great for sharing that. Okay, so we know about your sound, we know where your influence is. So you write and like produce your songs. So walk us through the creative process. You have the concept all the way down to the finished song.
Okay. Most times it's not like I don't just like go into the studio with the intentions of making a song. I feel like that's kind of like a misconception of artists. Like you don't always have that kind of time. Like for me personally, when I first started, I didn't get a lot of studio time. It was more so I write in the shower.
What?
So, yeah, I write in the shower. I turn the lights off. I take showers in the dark. I'm a weirdo. I light some candles and I put on beats maybe. And I just sing or say exactly how I feel. Like I don't have any structure. I put my phone on, I record myself, and I just go in and just, yeah.
Wow,
So
that's a unique process. Is there something
yeah,
about the water or something about the because in your music video you have water and stuff like that. So can you tell us how does that help or enhance the creative process?
it's very therapeutic for me personally because like I said, most of the time I'm writing about something that like is bothering me or is on my mind, and the water is just very comforting to me, and I just feel like I can just submerge myself in my own feels and just get them out. And once I do, I feel so much better. And then afterwards, I'm clean and I feel great. And I'm just like, oh, let me go about my day. And it's cool. I do everything in there. I cry in there. I can talk to myself in there. I can pray in there. And that's ultimately what music is to me. So.
Okay, that's really interesting. I'm just listening and reflecting to you because like water, there's something about water about me, like in London or in the UK, if I can go next to the water like a canal or something like that, or the river or something, it's just very calming and I get a lot of my creative thoughts. So I need to do some research in that. Why is water so such a great place or of state to be next to for creativity? So yeah, thank you for
Definitely
sharing
like
your
a
process. I
spiritual
really
portal.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what first got you into music?
Well, My parents. I'm a 90s baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my parents were quite young when they had me. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of their influence rubbed off on me and what they like to listen to. I used to take a lot of trips and travel a lot. And we always had our like Walkman, our disc players and stuff. And my mom would just hand me CDs like, you want to hear this? Like, listen to this. And, I just really took to like R&B and blues and jazz a lot. And I was probably the only kid I knew that was listening to jazz. And also, I played strings. I played violin, viola, and piano growing up. So I am
What?
classically trained. Yeah, I am classically trained, but I never, as far as music went, I didn't take music so much seriously as to like, I wanted to be an actor first. So that kind of eased me into it. And musical theater goes hand in hand, music and theater. So I literally was just like all over the place and just wanted to create anything. And the way that I started recording was I met a singer at a bar, and a friend of mine introduced me to him and said, "Hey, this girl can sing." And he's like, "Oh, really? Let me hear you." And I'm like, "I'm at a bar, dude. I'm not about to just sing right now." And he's like, "Come on outside. Like, I want to hear you." And so I sang like Rihanna for him. And then he called his like producer and his manager, and he's like, "Yo, like you got to hear this girl." And he came up, heard me sing, and then like a few weeks later, he's like, "Hey, I want to get you on some background vocals." And so I did background vocals for a little bit, and it just wasn't enough. I just wanted more. I wanted to always be around the scene. I always wanted to be around the studio. So I eventually ended up like working for like an independent music label and earning like hours to go into the studio. And from then on, I don't know, I couldn't get enough. I kept trying and going back and writing my own things. And eventually, the late that like the head of the label was kind of like over it. He's like, you're scraping up all this studio time, like, but we don't have time for you to be in here. We have other artists. You're not as important to us. You're not priority. So, you have to kind of take your business elsewhere. And then that day, I actually met my producer that I work very close with now. His name is Nemi. Shout out DJ Nemi.
Yay.
He was just like, "Yo, you're so dope. Like, I want to work with you." And I was just like, "Dude, I'm giving up. I don't want to do this." And he was just like, "No, no, no. Seriously, like, I feel like I can help you improve your sound, and I have some instrumentals. Maybe you can like write something to it." And I took it home, and then I just fell in love with what he had to offer me. And it just changed my sound significantly. Like, I went from writing like overwriting, putting too many words in songs, and being able to like finally go to my sound and articulate what I want to say and like be bold in my music. And he gave me a lot of confidence. It was cool to have somebody believe in me. So yeah.
No, it just sounds such a great like kind of blessing to have people who believe in you, because sometimes if people are not there, you don't have mentors or whatever
Yeah.
person who can help you, you don't always unlock that potential. So it's good that you had people at the right time, you had that social connection, so you can blossom into the sound you are today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you develop as a singer-songwriter and help produce your own songs. So walk me through the concept, because I saw some things on SoundCloud and on Spotify. So on Spotify, I see one single which you released a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Walk me through the concept of that song. What were you thinking? Is it autobiographical? Is it something what happened in your life? And how did you put that together?
Okay. So damn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Uh is all I can say about it. Damn. Actually, no, Damn was written in 2019. Um, and it was right before the pandemic happened. And I was actually living with a boyfriend of mine. And he was like, well, not my boyfriend, really. I won't say boyfriend. We're trying to do the thing. And he was a high school sweetheart. And we actually ended up getting into an argument, and we had not been seeing eye to eye for quite some time. And right in the middle of our argument, I just took my phone out and I started writing this song right in the middle of my emotions, because I just had to get out my feelings. It's so crazy because I still have not talked about this to this day, or like why it is. It's somebody that hurt me, and I just wanted to get my feelings out.
Why not? It's like a healthy way, right? It's a healthy way of cathartic way of doing it. You don't want to be going to jail, you know, you rather do this and do something positive, something negative into something positive, which is you know. And I'm sure a lot of women can identify, or a lot of people, women, guys, whoever, you know, when you try your best and people just, there's a British word saying taking the mickey, but you know, not really valuing the person who you are, you know.
It was just really painful, because I had been like best friends with this person since I was like 15, 16 years old. So I really thought that I was like gonna marry this person eventually. So you know, things don't work out. This person made a baby, I made a song, you know.
Wow. I was gonna say, damn. Oh, wow. Damn. That's how it is in this.
That's
wow. It's just a lot, isn't it? It's just a lot. And I feel like hopefully this song, you know, songs can be part of healing, you know, for you as an artist, and the people who listen to you as well. And you know, hopefully that, you know, that comes through. But yeah, I do love the vibe. I think you talk about that, using your words like moody vibe. It's just like something, it just resonates with me. And I'm trying to be a better not musician, but I'm trying to be a better show more appreciation for music, because what I'm trying to do when I'm listening, not just listening to the music, does that make sense? Not listening to the flow and I'm trying to listen to the concepts and the layers, you know, what goes into it, because I feel like for artists like yourself, you put a lot of meaning into what you do. And I'm thinking about the visuals for your music videos. This is what I don't see people do. Always, you know, independent artists making music videos. You know, people you do the lyric video, and I was like, okay, there's a lyric video. Okay, that's nice. But when you put your concept in as well, and showing that, so walk us through, how did you find like the director, the photographer, you know, the DOP, all that?
So I actually wrote that treatment like so long ago. Like I wrote it for, a treatment is like when you write out your music video and you like basically say like, this is what I want to happen, beginning, middle, and end. And I had been writing this treatment for like, I guess like 6 months straight, like every day, just working on something new. I already had the idea of what I wanted it to look like, as far as like the style, and like whether I wanted to look like vintage or whatever, you know, I just wanted like nice, clean look. And I knew that I had a friend from high school that was very, very talented, and he had been just working his way up for a long time, and traveling to LA. And one day he came back and was like, you know, I'm trying to like, you know, work with different artists. And he's just like, are you ready to shoot a music video, basically? And I was like, this is perfect, because yeah, I am. I have so much music, and you know, like people are asking me, where's your videos? Where are your videos? And I'm just like, okay. So I found Javier. He's pretty cool. And he has a partner named FaZe, and they make up Quantum Dream Cinema. So yeah, I worked with them. They were very, very awesome. They understood my vision. I ended up looking for, I location scout myself. I found models. I pretty much did everything by myself. I hate to sound like that, but like,
no, I mean, being a great producer and a great director. No, but you know, no one would say that to like Beyonce or Tiana Taylor. They do the same thing, because no one can't get your vision than the person, or Kanye West. Like, you have to be very intentional with your vision. And just as another artist or jeweler, I have to do the photography. I've got to find the models, the shoot, the producing. You know, when I was a jeweler, I thought I'd just make things on my bench, make the jewelry, and it will sell. And life is not like that. 99% is like I'm doing stuff behind the scenes. So, you know, that's why I found it really intriguing. Like, even when you did your music video, which people hopefully will see, at the end, you give like the behind the scenes a bit of it as well. So walk us through, why did you feel you had this nice, great vibe, polished video you made of the story, and then you did the behind the scenes? Why did you think it was important to do that?
Well, because I am very polished, and it's the same reason why I want to do interviews. I would like to show more of my personality, and I would like to get better at, you know, presenting in that way. It's one thing to have things set and be there, but then it's another thing to be candid. And I thought that was just like a cool touch to be candid and to be honest. Like, hey, I do weird things. I make weird noises. I'm always giggling. I'm not like perfect and like set how I look in the video. I'm super different. Videos are a cool way of me to, I guess, lie in a really pretty way. But the bloopers were like authentic. You know what I mean?
It's just life, isn't it? That is life,
Yeah.
you know? Sometimes you have the Instagram model life. Well, not me, but, you know, the Instagram, you know how it is. And then there's real life, what we look like in the real world. So yeah, I just thought that was so refreshing to have, and even made me like the concept and the music more, because you're talking about a real situation and you being real, where in this day in life when people are just so insincere and portray certain visions of themselves which are not really true or authentic. So I really appreciate that as an independent artist. So following on that, talking about image, like, do you feel, sorry, this might be a loaded question, so I'm going to put a trigger on it, but do you feel that you know, how can I put this right? So we just talked about your visuals, right? With that, do you have to think a lot of being an artist about how you portray yourself visually, you know, as a woman or something like that in this day and age, so you can get to new heights, or, you know, promote your music?
Yes, I feel like today is all about like shock factor. I see a lot of artists that like do things for like attention and like clout and like energy. And it is a little bit difficult because like you do want to be appealing to people. I'm so like I feel like everything has to be perfect all the time. So like I'm afraid to do something that's like insane or that's gonna make me look crazy. Some people that's for them, but I'm not one of those type of artists. But it is important for me to look good. Yeah. What was the other part of the question? I feel like I'm gonna like tangent off.
No, because the reason why I said this, because I was chatting to this R&B collective who promotes R&B music in the UK, and I was talking about women and images, because I feel like there's an unfair expectation of women, especially Black women, when they present themselves in their music or their artistry. Like, a Black guy, just putting it out there, this is my opinion, could just wear a hoodie and does his thing, and everyone's like, oh, amazing, oh, and the woman have to dance, she had to do this, she has to show this, she has to do this, she has to do 10 million things before she's even considered, you know, to listen to or to appreciate, especially Black women in the industry. And there's this, you know, so, and even the way how a Black woman should sound, if you don't sound like Aretha Franklin, if you don't sound, or you don't sang, I don't know if I say it properly, you know, and there's different textures to people's voices, you know what I mean? And just appreciating the diversity in people's voices, and to appreciate that. So I just feel like there's sometimes, so I was just chatting in another podcast episode, I was just chatting about that. And what this R&B collective called Neo Music in the UK. They were just saying like a lot of people today, or a lot of artists, they were saying like, the artists who succeed in their mind is just people who are just themselves, and it doesn't matter. You don't always have to show off, you know, your boobs or your whatever. So long as that you're yourself, the artists, the audience will see, the fans will see. They said some of the artists which they promote, they just wear tracksuits or something. Don't have to show. They just, so long as that they're themselves and they brand themselves well, the world the oyster. So it's just, it was just taking your take about like, as an artist, like what do you I don't know, I'm just going off, you talk about me going off tangents, I go off tangent, as you can see. It's just it was just your thoughts really about that and image, especially in an R&B format.
Yeah, image is definitely important. I guess there's two sides of that, because I used to not show my face. I used to be super self-conscious about it. Not that I think I'm ugly or anything, I just felt like you're always going to be compared to somebody. So I just started doing things where I would like cover my face. So I would do like a silhouette. And a few years back, then I discovered her and I was like, oh, damn, now I can't do that. You know? So there's definitely that pressure to want to be heard, but not wanting to be judged of what you look like, but also still wanting to stand out without doing something that someone else has done already. Like I said, shock factor is such a thing. I feel like that's, if that were my focus and I wasn't really trying to improve and grow within myself, that would be my thing. Like that would be my biggest like competition, is me going against shock factor artists. But I really feel like my biggest competition is to push myself in a way where I don't have to do those things, where I can just be so naturally talented and just like continue to work on, you know, building the best creative that I can be, not, you know, comparing myself to, oh, I have to look like this, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I feel like we all go through that. And it makes you sometimes it does discourage you, make you want to give up, like, oh, I'm not going to be good enough because I don't look like this, and this. But I always have to remember, like, because I don't look like this, and this, I can do this. And because I don't sound like this, I can do this, you know, and I look like what I look like, and I can play with that. And that's why I like cosplay, because it's just like another way for me to tap into different characters and still be myself, just a different version of it, you know?
Can you tell me a little bit more about cosplay? I tried it once, but you know what it is? I'm the most laziest cosplayer. Lazy.
Really? What do you mean by that?
Because people put, I mean, you have Comic-Con, right? Comic-Con in the US, right? So there's like Comic-Con here, right? It's not as big, but it's Comic-Con here. And when I used to go Comic-Con with my brother, and he's a lazy cosplayer just like me, so there's something in the genes, right? I just felt I couldn't do cosplay anymore because I felt I was disrespecting cosplayers, because I just knew the effort they put into their costume.
I understand what you mean.
So for me to put a cape on, like, and put a cat suit and put a silver wig and say, but I'm Storm, and pretend I'm Storm, I'm like, I felt so shame. I couldn't do it anymore. I thought, no, it is an art form. If I'm not going to do it properly, if I'm not going to take the time to put in my costume and do an effort, I am disrespecting the art form. And that's what I felt. So I felt, you know what, leave it to the people who have the time and the passion. So talk me through your cosplaying process.
I'm curious. I actually want to see your cosplay.
I will ping you a picture of me, my lazy, I'm not calling my brother lazy, but I'm lazy. I had a lazy costume. And my brother, do you know there's a game called Friday Night at Freddy's? Have you heard of that? There's a game? Mm-hmm. No, okay, so there's a reference. Anyway, it's like a cult computer game. And my brother was a really generic character. So yeah, I'll ping you a picture of that. But please tell me about your process.
My process. Like I said, I went to school for performance arts. So acting is like literally my first love. I would consider myself a method actor, which is like someone that like really submerges themselves into that character, does character work. So say if I was going to play a random character, if I was going to play Nicki Minaj, I would really like get into it. Like I would get a wig. I would get like I would change my voice. I would do like accent. I would like, you know, like character work, just make you feel like you're really like that character. I love DIY projects. I love going thrifting, finding my fit. Most of the time, Google is my best friend. I'll look something up. I'll be like, oh, I need this reference photo. And then I'll just go to the thrift, get the makeup, and just like do it all myself. I'll build my set. And then just
look how you build your set now. Oh my God, I just feel like
this was just for you, by the way.
What?
And I was like, she's
honored.
Like a plant. I think that you're like a plant person. So like me. So I was like, I'm gonna put some plants in here.
Kudos to you, because I'm lazy, because this is my set. Ring light, white wall, a piece of thing. You see, this is why I can't do some. Right, this is sometimes good to be with creatives, because that makes me, I have to up my game, because I'm just like, oh no, I just feel shame. Like now I know that you created that.
No, you're absolutely right, because I was looking at your jewelry, and I make jewelry also. Well, like I like wrap crystals and things like that, but I was looking at yours and I was like, oh, these are so nice. Do you like what is it called when you like the stamp, like you stamp the metal? Is that
kind of? So I think what you probably see on my Instagram, maybe it's have you heard of lost wax carving? So you make things in wax. So you make something in wax, like a blue wax, and then that gives like the negative like shape, and then you pour hot metal and it kind of fills in the shape. So I use a lot of that. Or when I make engagement rings or something like that, I make it by hand. But now I'm experimenting with computers a little bit, like doing more computer aided design, like just to make things a bit more uniformed. So yeah, I feel like my style is evolving, just like, you know, like artists, like it's like, that's why I think like music and sometimes poetry is aligned, because it's like you make albums, you know, when you do a collection, like you make albums, everything has to be of a line, you have to show your body of work. But now I'm a bit like, oh, I can't be bothered. I want to make EPs, where EPs is a little bit like less stressful. I do, because it's like, because I want to put jewelry out, and when I put the jewelry out, and they're like, but okay, I love that, Cassandra, but it doesn't fit in with the rest. I'm like, but I don't want to fit in. Like when I wake up in the morning and wear jewelry, sometimes I'm not like, does that piece match with that? Does that match with that? I wear what I feel. So I think like in a jewelry game, I'm just gonna do EPs and people just leave me alone, and that's it. That's my life.
That's funny.
That's like, but back to you, that. But look at your artistry in the background there. Of a musician. Oh my God, like, all right, I gotta figure out my set design, like for this show now. Oh gosh, okay.
And everything is pretty intentional. Like these are all my favorite like record companies, like Columbia, Capitol Records, Epic Records. Like, you know, gotta keep yourself surrounded with your, you know, inspiration.
Wow. So is that like affirmations then? You're like, these are where I'm gonna get signed. Every day I'm going to get signed. So you're so intentional with purpose there.
Yeah, I feel like if you do that, like it's like law of attraction. It'll come to you quicker if you're open to it, and you're living. I always live in a place of abundance. Then the abundance will come right back to you. So
I hear you. Okay, so. Okay, no, I'm just thinking, because you said that, and that really chimes with me. And I just feel like being an artist or just being creative, you just have to have that faith, because you don't know when your next opportunity is going to come. You don't know where you're going to get your next check from, you know, especially in this current climate. So at the beginning of this podcast, we talked about how COVID has helped you be more creative. But what about your performing or getting music out there? How has COVID affected you or enhanced your artistry?
Okay, so I believe it also gave me a really cool push, and it gave me the focus that I needed to be alone. because in the beginning of COVID, I was actually going through that breakup, and I was going through a lot of hard times. I actually lost my home. Yeah, I was in a shelter for a bit. I lost literally everything. And going through that with my child was just like really a big motivating um, factor for me. It was like, this is real, and I don't have anybody but me to fall back on, and I don't have anybody pushing me anymore. I don't have anybody like there. Um, I was having falling outs with my family, and I was just feeling ultimately alone, and I just needed to do what was best for me. And what was best for me is to not give up on myself. Just when everything is falling apart, I always say, like, I'm not very religious, but I'm spiritual. And I feel like just when you are down to nothing, or you feel like you have nothing at all, your God is up to something. And I felt like God was very much up to something with me. And yeah, I just like met that with hard work and just like grinded a lot. Like when I say grind, I mean I worked odd jobs, because only essential workers could like be in the field. So I made sure I was an essential worker. I I did internships, I did volunteer work, I did anything that I could just to try to keep my head above water and to keep my spirits up. I started a jewelry business called shopra.com.
Okay, are you wearing it now? Let's show. Are you wearing it?
Yeah, I am actually. I'm wearing, well, this is my little charm. So,
Okay, since we're talking about jewelry now, look, great. This is great. So walk us through the processes, being a jeweler. So tell us about this.
So, okay, so I wouldn't call myself a jeweler. I just say I enjoy making jewelry.
No,
But
okay.
just like the cosplay thing, because I don't want to take away from your art, because it's just something that
I you know what it is. Okay, cosplay, I was tongue in cheek. I made an attempt. But let me tell you, a lot of people in this industry, right, they don't make, right, but they call themselves jewelry designers and jewelers. Let's just put that in the atmosphere. So for you, with your hand making something and even designing something and putting something from concept to a tangible product, you are, in my little opinion, you are a jeweler, or whatever you call yourself. Please don't put yourself down, please, because I'm telling you, a lot of people on Instagram like, oh, this is my brand. Yes, I did it. They do not make. They don't make.
Yeah,
they do not make.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Kill self-doubt. I am a jeweler. I am part jeweler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got started with that because, like I said, I felt like I was in a bad place spiritually. I was very like down, trying to keep my hopes up. And a friend of mine actually is very much into like crystals and things like that. And I went to a crystal shop, and I started getting my own like gems and things. And crystals meaning like they're like rocks, feel good rocks. They have different healing purposes and different properties. You can use them for different things. I'm very much in tap with like my indigenous side. So these spiritual rocks are just more than rocks to me. They're like also affirmations. And I started using them for healing purposes and helping others, like wrapping them, making necklaces. I started wearing them on myself first, and then I worked at an organic market, and then I guess it just took off from there, because people were just like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, where did you get that? And I would tell them like, oh, I made this. They're like, do you have a business card? And I'm like, oh crap. It happens so often. I'm like, I need business cards like at this point. So I got some business cards. Then I started making masks. I made my own masks. And then people would ask me, oh my gosh, where did you get that? That's so cool. Can you make me one? And then I made them one, and then it just became a business. And then from then on, I just added to my inventory. So it went from like crystals to crystals, masks, full body jewelry, bedlas, balclavas, like all different types of things. Essential oils, like literally anything little witchy products was me.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So what is your favorite crystal? Do you have a favorite go-to crystal?
My favorite crystal probably would be a clear quartz.
Ah,
You can use them in anything.
I was
You can use them in any spell. So like different crystals have different properties, and I'm, like I said, spiritual. I don't like the word witch too much because it comes with a negative connotation, but I do practice spellcraft. We'll call it that. I will not call it witchcraft. I do practice spellcraft, like with herbs and spices and affirmations, enchantments, things like that. So clear quartz is definitely something that like adds a little bit of oomph to your spell. It's like a thickener if you're making like a roux or something, I guess. That one and garnet.
why garnet? I never used that. Why garnet?
It is it's a confidence booster. It's a strong energy stone. I definitely need garnet. It's one of my birthstones actually.
So you're born in January? Is it January? No, I can't remember.
No. I'm sorry. Ruby is my birthstone, but garnet.
So you're born in July?
Yes, I was born in July.
Okay, cool. I was born what? Not like I know you, but
wait, are you
date?
Cancer July or are you a Leo July?
I'm a Cancer July, first of July.
Oh really? I'm a Leo July. I'm the first Leo. I'm July 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah. That's cool. How do you get on with Leos?
I don't know. I don't know the chart. All I know is that I'm a Cancer. I like water. I'm very I feel things.
Very
I'm super sensitive. That's it. That's all I know, which is my trueness. But when people say to me, "Oh, you're a Sagittarius," and I don't with you, I'm like, I don't understand that. I don't understand it.
Well, I don't understand when people say like my this isn't a this and this happened because of this, and I'm just like, I don't know what that means. I just think it happened because you made a bad decision. Or maybe you just suck. I don't know. Just kidding.
But but people say, "Oh, I can't date you." Or some people, I can't date person because that's a Pisces, and you know how Pisces. And I'm just like, I don't know that life. I'm not going to determine my whole life around star signs, but I do. It's just something about the Cancer, something about the characteristics of a Cancer sign. I'm like, why does it fall on me so heavily? Why does it like just let me be? But it seems to be I'm not like literally, if you read a Cancer, like I am literally everything. I'm just like, that's very, very scary for me.
You're very sensitive.
Very.
That's okay. Vulnerability is strength. I learned that, especially in music.
So when you mean vulnerability and strength, do you mean when performing or just creating? Like, what do you mean?
In general, I feel like vulnerability is just truth. And with any creative, if you have the power and you have the strength to, or you have the courage to tell the truth, then you are truly strong. Because a lot of people aren't brave in that way. People tell me all the time, like, oh, I could never get on stage and like sing to a bunch of people. And I'm like, wow. Like, or I can never just talk to people. I can't, be outgoing. And I'm like, wow, like that's literally my personality. Like, that's all I like to do is just talk. But yeah, vulnerability is definitely strength. You can say a lot of things by just telling the truth. You could set a lot of people free and even yourself free by telling the truth and sharing your stories. And that's what music is for me. It's like a cool way to like be vulnerable but still be strong at the same time.
Okay, I dig that. Okay, so as we're going to a close, but I was going to ask you, what best advice have you been given in the music or creative industry to help people to carry on and live their dreams?
I don't want to say something cliche, but the best advice that I have been given wasn't actually advice. It was actually a no.
Ooh.
It wasn't advice at all. They didn't give me anything to leave with. They just said no. And that boosted me. I was like, okay, cool, bet. And sometimes I tell myself, no, I have to pull myself out of that. But yeah, kill self-doubt. That's my advice to anybody.
Well, sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
Kill self-doubt.
Okay.
Definitely the motto that I was telling you about. Kill self-doubt means it derived from a place where I was in a very dark place where I didn't want to be here anymore. And you know, I feel like not everybody contemplates, like, you know, suicide, but there a lot of people go through dark depression sides. And I was really on my way out, and my producer Nimi actually pulled me out of that. He literally saved my life, like literally. And I decided once, because I could have died a few times, I decided that I was never going to go back to that person again. I was going to kill that part of myself that ever doubted myself, that ever felt like I was not good enough, or that I just wasn't worth, like my time wasn't worth being here, or my story wasn't worth being told. I have to kill that part of myself. And so she does not exist. Sometimes she tries to creep back up, but like, I'm like, girl, get out of here. I'll stab you.
Absolutely. It has to be done. Has to be done. So following on that, on the last question I usually ask is like, what is the best testimonial or the best kind of reaction or feedback you got from a fan or someone in the industry?
I got a couple of things that gave me like warm feelings inside. Can I say two? One, someone told me that they reminded me of Aaliyah, which made me want to cry. I was like, thank you. Really? Oh my gosh. I never want to be compared to anybody, but like, girl, yes. And then someone told me that I make them see movies when they listen to my music. They told me, it's a photographer, and he said it made him want to start filming, like, you know, being a videographer instead of just a photographer. So that was really, really cool. And I think I'm gonna reach out to him actually this week, now that I'm thinking about it, because he's been following me for like 5 years and we still have not worked together. So yeah, I definitely need to shout out to him.
That's powerful, though. That's powerful.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's cool.
Especially since that's what I want to do. I love film. Like, I want to make movies so bad.
So it seems like you got a really good like social capital. You got like your connections. You got people who really vibe with you. People who believe in you. So it's just like, wow, just like the world is your oyster. Like it's just gonna go up and up from here.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm super, super excited.
Okay. So what is next?
But I've never done an interview before, so
you haven't? Okay, cool. Well, this is you know, hopefully lots more. So thank you. I can be your first. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
But
oh my gosh, I was so nervous, and I was so excited that you were Black. I'm not gonna lie.
Say again, sorry.
I said I was so nervous, but I was so excited that you were Black. I was like,
okay, good. Why not?
Yes.
Why not? Why not? Black women celebrate Black women. Don't need to tear each other down all the time. That's not what we do always on reality TV. Yes, we can have arguments, but not every day. So yeah, why not? No, it's really nice because as I said, you know, after last year, I know that you were in the US and I'm in the UK in London, but there's lots of commonalities. With the Black diaspora, our African diaspora, it's been tough, obviously, for Americans, African Americans, but it's been tough for other people outside of America as well. And I think last year, even though everyone's been Black every day, everyone suddenly had a sudden consciousness about Blackness, and I'm just like, I've been Black every day.
All right.
I understand what's been happening. It's been happening again. Blah blah blah. So it's just I'm just very more intentional about me reaching out to creatives, and even though you might not be next to me or we're in the same city, the best thing about technology, you're thousands of miles away and I can connect, and you know, through your music and through your testimony, and I feel that it's so powerful to have that. And I'm just so happy and grateful that you shared your story and sharing your artistry, even though you've been through hell and back. you're still growing and vibrant, and you can still produce great music. So I'm just feel very, very blessed. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
I do
Thank
appreciate
you so
you a lot.
I'm
Appreciate you. So where can we find you? Let's start with the singing and the jewelry and the healing and everything, because sometimes being creative, you can't just do one thing because you've got so much creativity to give. So let's start with the singing. Where can we find you and connect with you with the singing?
Okay. You can find me on all platforms. So that's iamyana.com. So why am I gonna?
It's fine. It's going to be in the show notes. So that's it's good.
So I am YANADOTCOM. You can find me on SoundCloud. You can find me on Instagram at iamyana.com, Twitter, all of that, same handle, iamyana.com. And what was the other question?
With your jewelry, let's show off the jewelry so people can buy the jewelry and support you.
My gems and
amazing.
You can't see anything, but it's okay.
But where can we buy it then? Where can we buy the jewelry?
Shopbruja.com, or I'm on Depop. You guys on Depop? You have Depop?
Yeah, Depop. Yeah.
We gotta follow each other. I'm on Depop.
Well, so, I'm not on it, but I know what Depop is, but we can just put the links there, so that'd be really good. Mm-hmm.
So that's yanascloset.com and shopbruja.com. So that's that.
Is all of your natural oils and stuff is in that Yana closet? Everything got made by you is going to be there as well. Okay.
Yeah. Or we could just go to my Instagram and it has a link tree, and I literally have all of that in there to make it easier.
I'll put everything there in the show notes. Oh, it's such a blessing to see the creativity. It's great to connect with creatives like yourself, and being very inspiring, and it's very healing as well. So I'm very happy about that. So thank you for being part of the Creative For You podcast, Cassandra Lauren Gordon, and with Yana. Much appreciated.